Hey there, and welcome to this masterclass on how to make ChatGPT sound more human. Now, this is the number one problem that I see most people struggling with when it comes to AI writing. I'm Tyler Spiegel, founder of AIWritingSchool.com, and I even struggled with this very same problem not too long ago. It's very difficult to get AI to sound like a human because it's not a human. But there are ways around it. There are ways that you can improve the output by improving the input and then iterating on the improved output. That's what I'm going to show you how to do today in this masterclass. It's not about giving ChatGPT a job and just letting it run. It's about working and collaborating with ChatGPT to get the best output possible. And there are methods that you can use that I'm going to show you today that will drastically improve the quality of the content and make it sound more human. Now, one of these things is personality. Personality is something that's missing most of the time in AI writing. And personality can be broken down into voice, tone, and style, which I've done some videos on before, and also sentence structure. Short to medium length sentences to a long sentence. You want to vary your sentence structure, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. Secondly, perspective. And this is probably the biggest thing that can improve your ChatGPT output and make it sound more human. And this can be broken down into your opinions, whether that's your opinions that you've developed yourself, or it's your client's opinions, or you can even borrow from a subject matter expert or pull from case studies and facts and figures. Another thing underneath the perspective is your personal experiences. And this is what I really want to emphasize today is if you have the ability to use an anecdote in your writing with ChatGPT, absolutely do it. It will greatly improve your output and make it feel more personal. And finally, we're going to go over the biggest problem with ChatGPT is it being repetitive, using the same vocabulary over and over again. And I'm going to show you what words to look out for. All right, let's start with personality, voice, tone, and style, and sentence structure. To give you an example of how to make this sound more human and why this is, I'm going to first ask ChatGPT to create an article, and I'm going to show you how generic this is going to turn out. Create a 500-word article on the lessons you can learn from your first job and how you can carry those lessons into your future. Okay, this is going to be very generic. It's a very generic prompt, and so it's going to be generic output. And that's one of the lessons I want you to learn today is that if you want to make ChatGPT sound more human, you have to start from the foundation of your prompt and your instruction. You want to train and instruct in a way that makes the content feel more personal and feel more human. Okay, if we want to make this feel more personal, more human, we can do something as simple as asking it to mimic a popular writing voice. So we could ask it to please rewrite this in the style of Entrepreneur magazine. Okay. Okay. Now look how different this article is just by saying, write it like Entrepreneur magazine. It is now mimicking a style of writing because we've given it an example. We've trained it on someone else's example. We could also say, please rewrite with a more conversational tone appealing to Gen Z. Okay? Now it's going to infuse some vocabulary. It's going to change the content in such a way that it lands more in the direction that we've given it to go. Okay. And now, if we want to make this feel different as we read it and sound more human, we can ask it, please make the content more punchy and vary the sentence structure to feel more natural. Okay. Okay, I like how starting your first job is a big deal. See how much shorter that sentence is, and I like that it got rid of treasure trove. That's actually one of the repetitive words that we'll go over later. It's associated with some of those. Let's just say ChatGPT loves to use the word gold or treasure, anything along those lines. All right, so I like this a lot better because it is varying the sentence structure. It feels more natural, it flows better, and that's really what we're after. Okay, so now we have knocked off personality, and there are definitely ways to do better than this. You want to even use your own writing personality, your own personality. That is ideal if you have one, and if you haven't developed a personality for your writing, you can certainly invest in doing that. But let's move on to perspective. So how can we improve ChatGPT to sound more human with our perspective? Well, one way is to use our opinions. Okay. Now, let's say that I don't have a strong opinion on this. What we can do is we can ask for an opinion from ChatGPT, and it will still improve it and make it more human. And this is actually associated with chain of thought prompting because we're breaking this down. We're not just saying, coming up with a random opinion and giving it to ChatGPT to write in. We're going to ask it and collaborate with it here. What is a contrarian? Excuse me for not knowing how to spell that super well. What is a contrarian opinion I could use in this article? And I like to ask for multiple options just so there's less back and forth as I'm revising and iterating on an article. Ooh, I like that. Your first job doesn't define your career path. In fact, and I didn't plan this, I'm going to use that because that actually aligns with the next part, which is our personal experience. Okay? I like number 1. And this may not work out perfectly for you, and that's okay if it's not, but I would choose one of these opinions if it aligns with your personal experience because it's going to make things easier and more natural. I like number 1. Here are some of my accomplishments. And now we're just giving it more ammo to improve this article. And you don't have to be perfect with how you word things here, but I'm just going to run through a few of my accomplishments. Published. And now we're going to ask it to rewrite this, infusing our personal experience and this contrarian opinion of your first job doesn't define your career path. There we go. Okay, so it did not follow our instructions very well. I'm not sure why, but this is something that you're going to work with when it comes to AI writing tools. Let's try it again. And let's see here. Let's just regenerate and see if it does better. Okay, here it is. Find your career path. Okay, something I want to change here is let's incorporate this opinion and experience in the beginning of the article and work it throughout. Now it's added it in the beginning. I started out in blue collar construction, a far cry from the world of digital marketing, content creation. My early experiences didn't pigeonhole me into one career trajectory. Instead, they set the stage for a series of unexpected turns and accomplishments. Even if your first job isn't your dream industry, the hard work you put in lays a solid foundation. I transitioned from construction to mastering blogging, content writing, and marketing. The dedication I honed in those early jobs became the cornerstone of my success. That is great. I love this. So this is really a much, much better job. And I would still want to polish this a little bit more. But something we want to look out for, and I think we may have already snuffed this out, is it using the final point here in this masterclass, repetitiveness. So let's see if I can find any repetitiveness in this article. Let's see. All right, let's see if one of these is in the world of. Nope, it didn't do that. That's good. Delve. Nope. Gold mine. All right, so we've done a good job prompting it so far to ensure that it doesn't use those terms. But that's one of the final lessons I want to encourage you with here is I want you to learn some of the vocabulary that ChatGPT likes to use over and over again, and that is delve, in the world of, and goldmine. You will be surprised how often it will use those words, especially in the introductory paragraph of a blog. So hopefully this masterclass on how to make ChatGPT sound more human has been really helpful. I want to go over this one more time. How do you make ChatGPT sound more human? First, you infuse personality. It's about voice, tone, style, sentence structure, and making sure you vary the sentence structure so that it flows better and it sounds more human. Secondly, perspective. How can you infuse your perspective, whether it's your opinions or the opinion of a subject matter expert? And then also your personal experiences. Like we did in this lesson, in this example, we infuse not only a contrarian opinion that I used ChatGPT to come up with, but we infuse my personal experience of going from a blue-collar job to a marketing job. And we use that to make this more unique and sound more human. And then finally, we looked for repetitiveness. Now, thankfully, we snuffed that out before we got to the end, but I caught it before we got to the end as it was using, I think, the word delve, or maybe it used treasure trove. Yeah. So it's going to use that type of language. You just need to look out for it and make sure that you edit it away from the content. Again, ChatGPT is a powerful tool, but at the end of the day, it's still a tool. It's up to you to make the output more human. And one of the best ways to do that is to start with better input. One of the things I say is that AI and ChatGPT, Claude, all these tools, they're just tools. At the end of the day, they're just tools. And they can make a bad writer a good writer. They can make a good writer a great writer. And they can make a great writer a world-class writer. And that's what we're all about at AI Writing School. We want to help you make the most of these tools to help you boost your productivity, write better articles, create better content, use AI as a collaborator and not as a crutch. Thank you so much for joining me in this masterclass. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. I would love to hear from you.